Hello everybody, I hope you're all well. I wanted to give some facts and information about leafcutter bees. Now I've been looking after leafcutter bees for the past 4 years and they've been awesome to look after, and they've actually been using my free active leafcutter bee houses, which I'll show you now. This is my second one and this is my third leafcutter bee house. Now these houses are actually around 4 years old. I've had these for a long time. I've actually painted them as well, so they're protected from the outside elements. I've even put a little roof on top as well, just a little bit of material to stop the water coming in, and they're really thriving, which has been awesome to see. So I wanted to give some facts and information about them. Now, as you can see with this particular leafcutter bee house, there's a lot of action, a lot of leaves, and I will show you where they're coming from. So this is my rose tree. And you're probably wondering, what are these shapes in the leaves? You may have noticed it in your garden yourself. You might have noticed the leaves are looking like this, and they're actually leafcutter bees. And they actually fill their nests with leaves. And they sometimes use the rose petals, which I do believe they've been doing. I'm just trying to see if I can find any that have been used. But they have used the rose petals, because I used to, last year, they were particularly using a nest, and I kept thinking, why is it pink? And I realised you could see these exact same shapes on the rose petals. So if you've ever been in your garden and you notice these shapes, they're actually from leafcutter bees, and they've been really active. As you can see, they've done it everywhere. Here, loads on this particular side. As you can see, they have been really active. Goodness, yeah, look. And these are all from leafcutter bees, and it's probably the texture as well of the rose tree. They like the texture of the leaves. They used to use this one really actively. I'm just trying to see if I can find any. That one was probably one of them as well. And they fill their nests with these sorts of leaves. I like these sorts of leaves. And then I did find one on my lavender once as well. So you may be wondering, how do leafcutter bees survive the winter? Now, this is what I've seen over the past 4 years, because I monitor them every season. So from October onwards, they're not active, and I believe the female lays the eggs right at the back, and they cover it with nectar and pollen. So what happens is, when the springtime comes, oh, there's one coming out, look. Oh wow. And what I believe is they put their larvae, I think it's called larvae, at the back, and then they start to, in the spring, chew through the nest, and where they get their food from, the larvae, is from the pollen and nectar they cover themselves, so they feed on it to grow. That's what I've seen from these nests. And what happens is, when they're fully start to develop, they start to chew through the nest and they come out, and I'll show you that on the other nest because it's not too clear on this one. So as you can see on this particular, can you see this is an old nest that they've hatched through? There's a little hole there, and I have actually seen these hatch out, and they chew through the nest, and then when they're ready to fly, they fly out. And what's been happening for the past 2 weeks is the females have been taking out all the old nests. As you can see, this is literally an old nest. These are all crunched up leaves, by the way. They take them all out and they're putting new ones in again. So they've been reusing these houses for the past 4 years. It's their go-to, which has been so lovely. So you may be wondering, what do? They are crucial pollinators. They actually carry the pollen and nectar on their underside, which is their fur, or hair I should say. And I believe honeybees, they carry it on their legs. I could be wrong, but that's what I've seen, and that's what I've heard from recent gardeners. As you can see that it's got a leaf. Hopefully it doesn't drop out. There you go, you see? That was really good. I'm glad that I caught that on film. And that's clearly come from my rose bush, because it's the same colour leaves. But they are crucial pollinators. They do really good things for the gardens. They pollinate wildflowers. And they've been reusing these houses for 4 years now. This one's not been so active. But all these holes were filled, but they've all come out now. But as you can see, they actually used last year, I think it's pollen mixed with mud. They were using mud. I kept seeing holes in the mud up there, but I think it's because it was a particularly wet summer as well. Also, some people may be worried, do they sting? what happens if you approach the nest. Now, as I said, I've been having leafcutter bees for the past 4 years, and they've never ever shown any aggression. I believe they don't sting, or it's very rare for them to sting, but they are very, very friendly. And for the past 4 years, they have been the friendliest bees, because even when I'm standing here, they just go past and they don't see anyone as a threat. Unless you go really closely like that, they're normally fine. So you're more than welcome to approach them, obviously if it's safe. But there was a time when there was loads of bees approaching, and they were filling all the individual holes up. And it was loads of them. I also have one here as well, actually. Now this one's really old. I mean, I think I got this in 2019. It's just full of cobwebs and nothing really uses it. I mean, it should be a bit angled a bit there. But this actually fell on the floor a couple of years ago. But they are still using it, because that's a new one there. But this was last year's, because they were using mud mixed with pollen and nectar. So yes, that's a little bit of information about leafcutter bees. If you do have any questions, please put them in the comments. I will respond to them. When I make these videos, sometimes I forget crucial points. So I rewatch the video and I go, oh, I should have mentioned that, or I should have done this. But yes, I wanted to give some information about them. And also, I will show you, if you see these in your garden, you know where they're from. They're from the leafcutter bees. And they are crucial for our environment and our planet, as you can see. So if you see these in your garden, you now know where they're from. Oh my gosh, they've even gone up here. Look, that's how high they've gone up. Wow. So yes, our rose tree does get quite a lot of them on. But I think it's the texture of the leaves as well. And they've even been using it off my fuchsia plant. Look, they've even been using my fuchsia plant. But it's the texture of the leaves. They must really like the leaves. Zeroing on this one, because this is normally quite an active one. But I don't seem to be using that one this year, thankfully. But yes, I see them very actively on these Hebes. I also have a hosta plant, and they've been active on these as well, taking the pollen out of them. I also have a ceanothus as well, which is very active with the bees in the spring. But it's really good to look after your environment and make sure you've got plenty of flowers in your garden if you want to attract them. And yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope all of you have a wonderful week ahead. Take care of yourselves. And as I said, if I've missed any crucial information out, please let me know, and I'll answer any questions that you may have. Thank you very much. Take care.